Limits. In mathematics, a limit is the value that a function or sequence approaches as the input or index approaches some value. Limits are essential to calculus and are used to define continuity, derivatives, and integrals. Today, we are going to talk about limit laws. Limit laws are simple formulas that help us evaluate limits precisely.
And there are 4 basic limit laws: addition law, subtraction law, multiplication law, and division law. First is addition law. When we take the limit of an addition, we can just take the limit of each term individually, then add. Just like the sample equation, limit of f of x as x approaches to a plus g of x equals limit of f of x plus limit of g of x, and both x's approach to a. Here's an example. Limit of x plus 5 as x approaches to negative 7. Here's how to add. Given the limit of x plus 5 as x approaches to negative 7 equals to the limit of x plus limit of 5 as both x's approach to negative 7, substitute the value of x, which is negative 7, so negative 7 plus 5 is equals to negative 2. Next is the subtraction law. This law is just the same with addition. Separate the terms and subtract. Given the sample equation, limit of f of x as x approaches to a minus g of x is equals to limit of f of x as x approaches to a minus limit of g of x as x approaches to a. Here's an example. Limit of x minus 9 as x approaches to 1/2. Here's how to solve it. Limit of x minus 9 as x approaches to 1/2 is equals to limit of x minus limit of 9 as both x's approach to 1/2. Substitute the value of x, which is 1/2, so 1/2 minus 9. Since it is a fraction, you can convert 9 into 18 over 2. That will be subtracted to 1/2, so it is equal to negative 17 over 2 in simplest form. Next is multiplication law. In this law, if the function involves the product of 2 or more factors, we can just take the limit of each factor, then multiply the results together. With that sample equation of limit of f of x times g of x as x approaches to a equals to limit of f of x as x approaches to a times the limit of g of x as x approaches to a. Here's an example. Limit of x squared as x approaches to 5. Here's how to solve it. Limit of x squared as x approaches to 5 equals to limit of 5 times 5 since it is squared and is equal to the limit of x as x approaches to 5 times limit of x as x approaches to 5. Substitute the value of x, which is 5, then multiply. 5 times 5 equals 25. And lastly, the division law. This law tells us we can simply find the limit of the numerator and denominator separately. Given its sample equation, limit of f of x over g of x as x approaches to a equals limit of f of x as x approaches to a over limit of g of x as x approaches to a, provided that the limit of g of x is not equal to 0. Here's an example. Limit of 2 times x over x minus 4 as x approaches to 12. Here are the solutions. Limit of 2 times x over x minus 4 as x approaches to 12 is equals to limit of 2 times x as x approaches to 12 over the limit of x minus 4 as x approaches to 12. It is equals to 2 times limit of x as x approaches to 12 over the limit of x minus 4 as x approaches to 12. Then it is equals to 2 times the limit of x over the limit of x minus the limit of 4 as both x's approach to 12. Now substitute the value of x, which is 12. 2 times 12 over 12 minus 4. It is equals to 24 over 8 or 3.